Imagine Cardano at $13. Sounds crazy, right? Well, I thought so too, until I ran the numbers and found out a tiny 1% could actually make it happen. So what I discovered here actually did blow my mind. So here's the deal. In this video, I'm taking you on a journey through a wild what-if scenario for Cardano's ADA. Now, it turns out that if the top dogs on Wall Street shifted just a slither of their assets into ADA, then it could actually send Cardano soaring into double digits. Now, I'm talking about real calculations that left me a bit stunned. And by the end of this story, you're going to see exactly why $13 ADA isn't as far-fetched as it might sound. But this isn't just about big institutions and huge numbers. It's about us, the regular ADA holders, and what we can do. Now, I'm going to share how this revelation is changing my own crypto game. For one, I'm going to be testing a new passive income tricks to stack even more ADA on the side. It involves a whole bunch of smartphones and something called Unity. Yeah, we've spoken about it before, but you get the idea. Now, I can't wait to tell you how that is going. Also, here's a quick heads up. If you love learning about crypto and want to discuss these ideas even further, then you should probably join our free educational Discord server. The link is in the description. Now, it is an awesome community where we share insights and we help each other out. And one more thing as well, this video is made possible by you guys and our partners. So if you're looking for a solid place to trade crypto, we've got a link to our website in the description below that holds all of the affiliate links for the exchanges that we personally do use, things like Blowfin, BitGet, and LBank, right? And using those links supports the channel here at no extra cost to yourself. So go check out our website. You'll find all the links over there and really do help support the channel. So thank you in advance if you do that. All right, that's enough intro. Let's get on with why some of you guys and some people are in fact even saying that ADA could reach that magic $13 and what I'm going to be doing about it. Now, it all started when I saw a discussion online. It said, what if the biggest investment funds threw just 1% of their money into Cardano? Now, I almost rolled my eyes. It sounded like one of those pie in the sky kind of crypto Twitter tweets, right? Now, I mean, we've all heard crazy price targets before, but the more that I thought about it, the more that it actually intrigued me. So I grabbed a virtual kind of napkin, and yes, I'm that kind of nerd, and I started doing the math to see if this claim actually held any water. First, some context then. Institutional investment in crypto has been on the rise. So think about companies like MicroStrategy that practically turned Bitcoin into their savings account. They've accumulated over 640,000 BTC in just 5 years. And they're not alone. Other firms have started diversifying their holdings to include things like Ethereum and even XRP, treating kind of crypto as a bit of a reserve asset. So the idea isn't totally outlandish that someday these big players might actually look at Cardano too. Now, let's consider the top 10 US asset management firms. You know, the Vanguards, the BlackRocks, the Fidelities of the world. Now, together, at least as of early 2024, they actually managed around $45.5 trillion in assets. And yes, that was trillion with a T, right? Now, just imagine just 1% of that flowing into Cardano's ADA. That would be $455 billion potentially aimed at Cardano. Now that's $455 billion. Just let that sink in for a second. For perspective, Cardano's market cap at the time of this recording is around $24 billion, and ADA is trading at roughly 67 cents per coin. Actually, a little bit beaten down recently with that big wipeout that we had, right? So $455 billion is like 19 times the entire current valuation of ADA combined. Now, if that kind of money came in, it would reshape the entire landscape of Cardano's valuation overnight. Now, I'm going to do some simple math, and we're going to assume that $1 of inflow equals $1 of market cap. It does not, but it keeps the math pretty simple, right? We do know that there's a multiplier effect. Most recently, we noted that XRP, during this most recent rebound from the crash, it had a 1000x multiplier, as in $1 in equals $1,000 of market cap. Right? Market cap doesn't actually mean the amount of money that's flowed in, but we're going to keep the math pretty simple, right? So we're going to just assume $1 in is essentially $1 of market cap. And on that note, I did the math and double checked it because honestly, it's hard to believe it at first. So with roughly 36 billion ADA in circulation, a $455 billion inflow would pump Cardano's market cap to roughly $479 billion on a 1-to-1 ratio. That is actually bigger than Ethereum's market cap right now. And if you divide that number by the number of ADA coins, well, you'd get a price of around $13.30 per ADA. So let me just repeat that, right? On the conservative 1-to-1 ratio, that would basically be $13 for a single ADA, up from around 67 cents. That would be a mind-boggling 1,870% increase from today's price. So when I saw that number, I literally fell out of my chair. My jaw was on the floor, all those kind of sayings. It's kind of like that number that makes you go, wait, is that for real? So let's be super clear here. This is, of course, just a theoretical scenario and a super conservative theoretical scenario too. It's like asking, what if pigs could fly? Now, in other words, I'm not saying that $455 billion is about to flood into Cardano next week. But just knowing that if big institutions even dipped their toe, right, just the 1% into ADA, well, that could result, I should say, in a pretty dramatic price rise. Crazier things, of course, have happened in crypto, and it really kind of puts things into perspective about just how undervalued ADA might be if it ever gets that level of attention. Now, here's the crazier part. That $13 price target for ADA is not coming out of thin air. That exact number has popped up before in the Cardano community. Last year, an analyst known as the Basic Trading TV predicted ADA could pass $13 if it repeated its 2017 to 2021 performance. Now, the more recently, though, another piece of analysis, I should say, actually suggested that by 2030, ADA might hit around $13.50 if it grew to match Ethereum's market cap at that time. So multiple independent sources have thrown around $13-ish figure. It's almost like a mythical kind of target at this point then. Now, I'm not saying that I believe all of this is 100% true and it's going to happen. Not exactly, right? I'm optimistic, but I'm also a realist at heart. Crypto markets are notoriously unpredictable, right? However, seeing those calculations and predictions kind of line up, then you're looking at, what Cardano is doing behind the scenes. I do have to admit, it gives me some hope. For instance, Cardano recently launched Hydra 1.0.0, a scaling solution that reportedly can hit 1 million transactions per second, and it did so in testing. 1 million transactions per second. That is just bonkers for the record. Right, to put that into perspective, major networks like Visa handle about a few thousand transactions per second, TPS, on a good day. So 1 million transactions per second is a whole nother planet, right? Cardano basically went from a tortoise to a cheetah with a rocket booster attached, at least in the speed department, right? And if that doesn't at least get some big players to raise an eyebrow, I'm not sure what will. Now, before we get too carried away, here's a quick reality check. Now, this might just shock you, but I'm not a financial advisor and nothing in this video is financial advice. Cryptocurrencies are highly volatile and you could lose all of the money that you invest. You should always do your own research and consult a qualified professional. After all, your investments are entirely your responsibility, and you should know that nothing is ever guaranteed when it comes to investing. Neither I, this channel, nor YouTube are liable for any losses, and this video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Alright, with that out of the way, let me tell you how all of this theoretical talk is actually influencing what I'm doing with my own ADA. Because let's be real, none of us can control what BlackRock or Vanguard do, right? I can't make institutions go out and buy ADA, I wish I could. So my strategy is to actually focus on what I can control, accumulating and earning more ADA smartly and safely, while we wait to see if any of these big moves actually play on out. For one, I have been experimenting with a project called Unity to stack up more ADA on the side. Now, Unity has been a reoccurring topic on the channel, so some of you probably already get the gist, right? But for those who don't, I did buy a Unity Node NFT, which basically gives me a license, or 200 licenses to run on smartphones like these ones over here, like little micro nodes, if you will, that basically let me run little apps on those devices within the network. Now, the idea is quite simple. Once the Unity app goes live, I'm going to install it on these 10 phones I have here, just as a small test run, right here on the desk in the office right now. And I've got a whole bunch of other phones that I'm potentially eyeing up. And I'm going to be ready to become a little mini ADA earning army, if you will. Now, it looks like a little bit like a mad scientist setup, but hey, if it works, it works. Now, these phones will contribute to Unity's network, kind of like how people contribute computing power or connectivity in other decentralized projects. And in return, I'm going to earn some crypto rewards. Now, here is the cool part. I can choose to be paid in ADA or Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, whatever altcoin or crypto asset that you're looking for. I know that I'm going to be picking ADA for sure. So essentially, I'm going to be earning more ADA passively by just having a few mobile phones plugged in and running an application. Now, if the test goes well, then I might scale it up gradually. I have a capacity to 200 devices with that one NFT, right? Though I'm only going to ramp it up if it is actually worthwhile. And every bit of ADA that I earn from Unity, well, I'm planning to take it and stake it in my own stake pool to compound those rewards even further. It's a bit like a feedback loop, right? Earn ADA, stake ADA, earn more ADA. Now, here's a quick note on the Unity thing, right? I see the comments, people are fed up with me talking about it, but this is the whole channels that we have here. These are our personal journeys in crypto. This is something that we are doing, right? It's a new project that I am trying personally, which is why I'm talking about it, right? This is not me telling you to go all in on it, right? I've done my research and I see the potential there. It's kind of like any new venture. There is going to be risks and nothing is going to be guaranteed. But if you are curious about Unity, then I have put a link to their light paper and their rewards calculator in the description below for you to do your own research. And as always, you've got to check it out for yourself. Many of us have heard me talk about Unity in previous videos, so don't dwell on it for too long here, right? I'm just excited to finally see and test out what this thing can do because their rewards calculator is insanely promising. But I wanted to share with you guys so that everyone knows what the scores are with the door. And I'm looking to just grow my ADA stack over time using something like Unity. Aside from that, I'm of course still staking my ADA, as I mentioned, right? Now, running the 𝗗𝗶𝘀𝗀𝗃, that's CHEEK Cardano stake pool has been awesome. Not only do I earn rewards, but I get to help others earn them too. So if you hold Cardano and are just sitting, or it's just sitting in your wallet waiting for the price to moon, then you should consider delegating it to a stake pool. It doesn't have to be mine or, hey, you know, that would be awesome and you're welcome to obviously stake to the 𝗗𝗶𝘀𝗀𝗃 pool if you want to, but staking is honestly a no-brainer for ADA holders, right? You can earn roughly 4 to 5% APY, give or take, you know, without actually giving up custody of your ADA at all. Your ADA never leaves your wallet and there are no lockup periods whatsoever. You remain in full control of your crypto. So you can just stop or move your stake at any time. It's literally making your ADA work harder for you whilst you hodl. So if you're not staking yet, definitely look into it. And if you are staking with another provider, but want to support this channel, then you can move your delegation to our 𝗗𝗃 pool, you know, that really does help us out and keeps these videos possible. So yeah, right, between this wild $13 thought experiment and the passive income strategies, I've been thinking a lot about how to maximize my position for the longer term. So let's just zoom out for a second here, right? What is the bigger picture here? For me, the takeaway is that Cardano has huge potential upside if certain dominoes fall into place, like the institutional adoption. But even if those big moves take time, or even if they never happen to the full extent that maybe we imagined, Cardano is still growing in real ways right now. The technology upgrades, like Hydra, are making the network faster and even more capable. The community is building like crazy. More and more projects are popping up on the Cardano ecosystem. It's an ecosystem, I guess, that's alive and kicking. So while we wait to see if ADA ever hits that mythical $13, I'm personally going to keep stacking up. I'm going to keep on staking, and I'm going to keep on learning. Right? Maybe the price will moon when institutions finally wake up to Cardano's potential. Or maybe the growth will come from the ground up through everyday users and developers. Either way, I want to be there for it, and I want to increase my holdings responsibly in the meantime. Right? Being an ADA holder right now kind of feels like being early to something rather big, but it requires patience and, of course, strategy and a plan. To all of my fellow ADA holders that are out there, what do you think? Is $13 ADA a pipe dream, or do you see it as a realistic target someday? Are you accumulating ADA? Are you staking it? Are you even running nodes or doing something totally different and something else to grow your own stack? Let me know your thoughts, all right? And if you're actually in our Discord, then let's definitely keep the chat going there. In the end, whether or not the top 10 funds ever drop that 1% into Cardano, one thing remains rather true. Cardano is continuously building and it's improving itself. And we've seen before in crypto that big money often follows when a project has great tech and a community that is strong. Maybe Cardano's ADA's big moment with institutional money is, well, yet to come, but maybe not, right? But either way, right, I'm going to be here for the journey, and I'm excited about where the future is heading. So if you've enjoyed this little adventure with me today, make sure to check out the links that are in the description down below for the Discord, join the community there, check out all of the affiliate links for the exchanges that we use, and don't forget to check out and do research on Unity if it has piqued your interest. For now though, you can do me a favor by smashing the like button, hitting the subscribe button, and joining me in the next video. Until then, have a great day.